I was never really these from the town.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Yeah, that's really showing it.
Go ahead, let's see. So the people that don't know me and don't know my recent history, tonight, a month ago, I got a severe vertigo. And from not being able to move for several days to walking with a walker to stumbling over to PT. Last week I decided to take the reins and get into the driver's seat. And I've been doing a few things, and what I'd like to do today, for my benefit and hopefully your benefit, if you ever had vertigo or if you know somebody with vertigo, to go through some things that I'm doing that are very helpful for me. And if it's useful, then it's out there and the word is out. So class today will be very easy. Physically, it will be mostly spine, internal, very small movement. It's all about integration. So I was told that I had a virus because it was so acute. I was for 2 days, I couldn't have a sip of water even. Needed infusion and all, the medical stuff. But then the PT said that it's vestibular, and they did the maneuvers, and my eyes were moving, and everything showed like, it was like regular vertigo. So somewhere in between these two, and it doesn't really matter, I said to myself, I have enough tools in my pockets. I just have to start drawing them out and play with them and see what works. And when we talk about the vestibular, the inner ear, nobody really can see what the inner ear is. So the way that they look at it is to see the movement of the eyes when it comes down as they move you through space. It's the old stain of the brain. So when we walk down the street and we slide on something, on a banana, let's say, we pull back. That's the old stain. That's not the thinking mind. That's not the analyzing. Oh, I'm walking down. You don't have time to think. You react. You put your hand on the stove, you pull up. That's the stain. That's not the front of the brain. That's more on the automatic. It's the old brain that we grew up with, that, through the eons of development of becoming humans and developing this part, but this is still there. So, as I was progressing through the last month, in the last 2 weeks, they told me you need to compensate and you need to go, you cannot sit on the couch and wait for it to happen. You have to compensate and get back into life. And I found myself in bed at 8:30 at night. It's like, what's going on? What was going on that because the left side was not operating and allowing me to find the balance, my eyes are doing the balance for the eyes and for, because muscularly everything is good, I see sense, all the receptors are there, no problem. But if I don't have my eyes, I wither, I fall, I catch myself. And I have enough tools to catch myself gracefully, not to get all the way down, but I am falling, and I know that I'm falling. So, what we're going to do today would be mostly to find differentiation between what's going on in the neck and head and the eyes and the tongue to bring up more coherence internally, for lack of a better word. But I also drew up from Donna Eden, who does a lot of energy work and works with meridians, and I do tapping on 3 meridians, the pancreas, the spleen, and My brain doesn't work like from one. I mean, it really does work. I don't concentrate, I can't read, and it's really amazing how much that tiny little thing takes you completely off. Like, I got a check, and I put my check in the bank on the internet, and I started putting it, and then something is not right. So I said, okay, maybe I can't read the words, maybe I go into the numbers. And I got to the numbers, it's 335,019.
That'd be nice.
Somebody's trying to sell me, buy my house without, but then on the top of the check, somebody else read it to me. It's like a fake check. But a month ago, I wouldn't think about trying to put it in. Okay, anyhow. So let's do the meridians that I do. So it's on the recording and you can share it with somebody, you say it to somebody that you know. So this is stabilizing. Somebody didn't turn it on or off. Maybe it's me too. So we take here, which is kind of integrating all meridians. And then we go down on the inside. We make a circle around the ankle and we rub underneath the arch. And then we come back up, we circle, we come up, and we flip again. And we do it 3 times. So we're going to go into the arch, we stimulate that, we go around the ankle, we come up, and we flip. And we go into the arches, and we circulate, and we come up, and we flip. And we go again to the arches, circulate around the ankle, come up, and flip. The next one would be like one rib underneath the bra line. So you stimulate both sides. Rub, 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 don't be gentle. And then we're going to go down and in between the toes. Sorry about that. In between the toes out. So then we come from the in between the toes, around the ankle, come up, and rub, 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 stimulate right there. Should be really tender. Yeah? Not tender? Good, good.
Yes.
And in between the toes, up and rub. So it's in between the big toe and the second toe, inside the thighs and rub. Did we do it 3 times?
Yeah.
That was good. Okay. The next one will be rubbing a little bit further on the side, coming up to the armpit, coming down and out all fingers. So then up all fingers, inside, out and up to the armpit. And from the out, rub inside the thigh, up and up to the armpit. So we're just following the meridians and up and up. And that's it. So those are the meridians. I do it through the day, 3, 4, 5 times a day. So that's one thing. The other thing that I read online is to go into acupuncture, the pressure point. Then, so you put 3 fingers underneath the wrist, and then the thumb aligning with the index right between the tendons here, and press and rub. I'm looking at the seconds, so we've got enough time, long enough. And again, don't be gentle. you're not gonna burst anything. I mean, some things it's good to be gentle, but when you want to stimulate something and waking them up, that's only half a minute, so we'll do it for another half a minute. And since I started doing those things, I really am improving.
That's specifically for the vertigo.
Specifically for the vertigo, yeah.
So meridian?
Meridian, the 3 meridians and
Yeah, I never heard of it, that's what I'm asking.
okay, this is 1 minute, let's do the other side. So 3 fingers, thumb, in line with the index finger, between those 2 tendons, and go for it.
And is this supposed to be good for balance? Is that what it does? Vertigo. I never heard of this. Balance? Or nausea?
You know, they don't really tell you what, but we are energy. And if we can tap into the meridians that work on those areas, I'm 70, I don't have the mindset right now to go and study Chinese medicine. Actually, I have the information for years in books. It's not my area that I go deep in, but I can tap into it and draw from it when I need to. So I definitely can say that I know it, far away from knowing and understanding it. But okay, relax. But I do know that any ailment has to do with a stressor, either physical, emotional, or chemical, or combination. And if it is such, if our thinking can help change things, or our changing the stress, the emotional stress, or the chemical stress can support healing. And on the very basic info, like blood and oxygen. If you bring blood and oxygen to an area, you vitalize it. And if we sit in a chair and we don't move, or we eat things that depress us, we drink things that depress us, and all those things just shut the ability to actually listen and allow healing to occur. So that's where I'm going with it. Because they look at your ear and they don't see anything. And they don't think it's valid. Even if it's a virus, it's not bacteria that can give you antibiotics.
No.
So you have to find a way inside. It's like, I don't want to be withering. I don't want to be. It's like I'm sitting with a glass in front of me all the time. Not as much as it was, but the world was out there, and I was like, and I started feeling timid. Like going downstairs, needing to hold something, or walking, needing to find a straight line, or constantly finding myself tapping things with my fingers so I know where I am in space. I'm not ready. Not signing for it. Okay, so we're going to lie down and we're going to start class on the physical part. Okay? So go ahead and find yourself in supine, on your spine, and take a minute to compare the right side with the left side. And you don't need to be judgmental about it, but just see which one is able to relax into the mat a little bit faster. And notice if it's the bones that feels like it's holding you, or is it muscle tightness that's holding you, or maybe the fascia, the wrapping around that's not letting breath to go through and the muscles to relax. Or maybe everything is nice and relaxed and so. And go ahead and draw one leg up so the foot is on the floor and the knee is facing up towards the ceiling. And then draw the other leg up so the foot is on the floor and the knee is facing up towards the ceiling. And I'm going to ask you to close your eyes if you're okay with it. And draw a very short line, like maybe half an inch, with your nose up and down on the ceiling. But really only half an inch, tiny little line. And notice if the line is crossing your face into two halves, or is one side of your face is larger than the other one in the way that where you draw the line? What is the difference in the sensation internally between the right side of your head and the left side of your head? As you're drawing a tiny little line with your nose, notice the rate that you're drawing the line. Are you in a hurry? Are you precise? Are you timid? Are you sure of yourself? And when your nose goes up towards your forehead, bring your tongue up towards your upper teeth, in the back of them. And when your nose draws the line down towards your belly button, bring your tongue down behind the lower teeth. And see if you can exhale when the nose goes down and the tongue goes down, and inhale when the tongue goes up and the eyes goes up, and the nose goes up. And see if your nervous system can listen to the rhythm and become one with it, and come to a place of comfort and rhythm that suits you. Are you touching the back of your teeth with tenderness? Is it forceful? How do you do what you do? Can you do it in a better way for you? Are you touching right in the middle of your teeth, or are you going towards one side? Is the line that you're drawing is really vertical, or is it a little bit of a diagonal? And let it go and rest for a minute, and rehearse it in your mind. Observe what you've just done. And we're going to do it again. And this time, invite your pelvis to join into the movement. So as your nose goes up and the tongue goes up, your belly button gets a little bit closer to the ground. And when your tongue goes down and your nose goes down, your tailbone goes a little bit closer to the ground. Everything is moving up, and your belly button is closer to the ground, and everything is going down, and the tailbone is a little bit clearer on the ground. Tiny little. Please don't think exercise, think nervous system and integration and differentiation. And rest. And bring your tailbone to the ground and bring your nose up. So they're going away from one another. And bring your nose down and the belly button to the ground. So the nose and the head and the pelvis are getting closer to one another from the front part of your body. And then switch and bring the head, the nose up and the tailbone down, so the hip and the head are getting closer on the side of the mat. And keep on bringing the head and the hip closer to one another in the front and closer to one another in the back. Close your eyes and notice what your eyes want to do. Do they want to go with the head? Or do they want to go with the pelvis? See if you can keep on breathing without interruption. And stay with the hip and the head close to one another in the front. And if your eyes are looking down, now bring your eyes up. And separate between the hip and the pelvis in the front. And bring your eyes down. So the eyes are moving now opposite to what it was normal for you. Tiny little movement, it doesn't need to be big. And rest it all. Lengthen your legs. Go ahead and bend one leg and then the other again. And think about the two sides of your pelvis. So go ahead and touch the bones on the front of your pelvis, the ASIS, the bony part on each side of your hip. And then you can let go those hands and just remember those points. We're going to lift the right side a millimeter, just tiny little bit, towards the left eye. and the left eye towards the right ilium and separate. It is as if you have a rubber band between the right hip and the left eye, and that rubber band is shortening, and that rubber band is laxing. And the rubber band is shortening, eye is moving just as much as the hip is. So don't move with the hip 10 times more than the eye. Find a coordination internally to move the rubber band in equal amount and at the same time. So the nervous system is really listening and you're finding quality so you can breathe and enjoy the ride. And let it go and relax. Let the nervous system just let go. Take a cleansing breath in the middle there. Or when you feel that you are ready to go to the left pelvis and the right eye. Find a rubber band, attach it, shorten it, and get it lax. And again, eye and pelvis through the rubber band, not more, not less. Is that eye moving in the same quality with the other one? What is the difference? Is it the hip that's moving different? Is it the eye that's moving different? And let it go. Lengthen your legs. Get your eyes to the left upper corner above you, while you take the tongue and stick it to the opposite side at the bottom of your mouth in the back. So you're creating a diagonal from the tongue to the eye. And let it go. So it's the same type of feeling of like you're stretching now. Instead of contracting the rubber band, you're stretching the tongue down and the eye to the 45 or 60 degrees up to the left. And the tongue is going 45 or 60 degrees down to the right. So you're stretching and you're letting go. Can you feel the vertebrae of your neck lengthening and getting a little closer to the ground when you stretch the tongue and the eye. Relax the eye, relax the tongue. Breathe. Let it go. When you're ready to go to the other side, you stretch your tongue down 45 degrees to the left, inside your mouth, and the eyes to the right, 45 degrees up. And rest the eye and rest your tongue. Have your knees either bent or straight, whichever feels more comfortable for you. And get both eyes to the left. And start making an arc up towards the top of the eyeball and down on the right side to the right corner. An arc down towards the cheeks and up towards the left corner on the left. And again, arc up and down towards the right corner. Notice if you're jumping, try to create a smooth line, circular down the right cheek, up the right cheek, and as your eyes are moving in a circle, notice that circle that happens in the head, between your head and the mat that you're laying on. How big is that circle? How smooth is that circle? How even is that circle? Are your eyes closed or are your eyes open? Is there an area that your eyes are starting jumping? Can you find the smooth line? And rest. Remember which direction you went. Did you do it clockwise? Did you do it counterclockwise? And try to go the other direction. Try to do a different size. Try to find variations. And rest. I'm going to challenge you and me. Decide on which direction you want to go with the head and get the tongue to go in the opposite direction. So the tongue is doing circles inside your mouth. While the head is moving in the other direction. And rest. Rest completely. Very gently roll to a side and lie down on that side. Get used to the world on that side. And very slowly and gently find yourself to a sitting position. And create a rubber band between the shoulder and the hip. Just imaginary, and get the shoulder and the hip closer together and separate. and closer together, smaller. You know how you go to a party and you can wink at your partners to say, I want to go, and the wink is so small that nobody sees? That kind of a wink. Rubber band, and let go. Rubber band, and let go. There you go. And the other shoulder and the other hip. So it's less skeleton muscle and it's more internal. And last thing, get your right eye to rubber band with your knee. And find the way, the timing of tightening the rubber band and relaxing the rubber band. And then change and work with the left eye and the right hip. And the reason I'm doing it in opposition is because that's how we are constructed. We walk with opposition, we cross from right to left as we walk. The eyes are a huge stabilizer and organizer. And let it go, close your eyes for a minute. And just kind of, as if you're standing underneath an umbrella and you see the energy of your whole self around you, close to you, skin, internal. And when you're ready, open your eyes.